Welcome to Coastlines to Cranes, the podcast where we dive into the world of construction from the sandy shores to the towering cranes. I'm your host, Shandon Harbor, bringing you stories, insights, conversations that connect the people to our communities and the coastlines that inspire us. From leadership lessons in industry, innovations, this is where construction meets culture, one conversation at a time. Today, we have with us Scott Uren from Titan Fire Life Safety and Steven Cabaj from Electronic and Telecom Systems. These are my bosses to all of you listening. Scott is my outgoing boss. He's the chair of ABC San Diego. He's actually been serving for 2 years. We are very grateful and indebted to his service and his volunteer leadership that has really taken us to the next level in the last 2 years. I'm going to have Scott tell us about himself, and then we've got Steven joined with us today. He will be following Scott's last 2 years and succeeding in 2026, which is also our 50th anniversary. So welcome, gentlemen.
Happy to be here.
Yes. So, Scott, I love your story. You're Canadian, actually. Everyone learns that, and they're like, wait, what? He's Canadian. And he...
Don't tell ICE.
Yeah, I know, right? And both of these gentlemen have started their own business. So I want to hear, Scott, how you started yours. How did you start Titan? It's a remarkable story. I'm always fascinated.
So, we kind of started out of just looking for something more out of my career. I was an estimator at a local company, great company, with great leadership in that company. I just didn't really have the runway that I was looking for to grow, and knew nothing about really running a business or starting a business. And I think that's probably the best way to do it. Not that you don't make a ton of mistakes, but if you knew everything that was going to go wrong, you probably wouldn't do it in the first place.
Right.
So, we were doing a project at Pearl Harbor in Hawaii, and we managed to go out and have a couple adult beverages, which I've done from time to time. Ended up pretty hungover.
Everything happens on a cocktail
That's
napkin.
right. Ended up pretty hungover on the North Shore at a shrimp truck with a napkin and a good friend who ended up being a partner in helping me start the business. And that's kind of where Titan was born, was a napkin at a shrimp truck on the North Shore.
Love it.
So,
not many people can say that. That's pretty amazing.
I don't know if it's the brightest thing to do, but like I said, I think one of the reasons businesses get started is we all think we're smarter than our bosses, and we're better at, we think we can do everything better.
Right.
And then over the course of, Titan Fire and Life Safety's been going for 10 years now. Last year was our 10th year. I've learned a lot about how smart my bosses actually were and how stupid I was. And so the adventure is a lot of fun.
Well, in that 10 years, you also ran into ABC, Associated Builders and Contractors. You joined our San Diego chapter. You've been leading it for 2 out of your 10 years in business, which is amazing. There's a lot of juggling balls. How did you find out about ABC?
So we are, I take a lot of pride in our involvement in the San Diego construction industry. We actually have a spreadsheet where we track our entire sales team from alarm through inspection, testing, and maintenance, and contract and sprinkler contract. Every single person gets assigned to 1 or 2 associations, and with a actual schedule of how we want them to progress through that. Whether it's starting at the committee level, eventually becoming maybe a board member, maybe a president. But generally we track where everybody is in their associations, and we try and pair people up with, inspection, testing, and maintenance. We want them with facilities managers, alarm and contract. We want them at ABC or AGC or somewhere, or ASA, where they're going to interact with potential customers. And
wait, what? I'm not your only one.
You're not the only one. Sorry.
I'm hearing this live on a podcast.
I'm a huge apprenticeship person, obviously heavily involved with CAFSA, which is the California American Fire Sprinkler Association. I chair their trust. At the time I was chairing their UAC, we were closely affiliated with ABC NorCal. So kind of started to get more and more into the mix with ABC with NorCal. And then you reached out to me.
Right.
And you asked if we were members, and you asked if I'd be interested in a board position. Took a board position, and then very, very quickly ended up in the leadership pipeline. Ended up as a proxy, and then rapidly progressed through the leadership pipeline into my role, and loved every minute of it. So I'm a huge proponent of the merit shop industry, huge proponent of apprenticeship and workforce development. I'll be the first to admit that I'm not the best pack fundraiser or any of those things. Don't come to me for that. I hate asking people for money. But if people want to talk about apprenticeship and leadership and those types of things, I'll talk your ear off.
Absolutely. We were in a meeting yesterday in Sacramento, and you were really, passionate about growing apprenticeship and growing opportunities for folks in the construction industry. So, if you were to look back on your 2 years, Scott, what would you identify as something that you took away as great value or something that you're very proud of?
So I would say the thing it's kind of two. There's a grateful portion and a proud portion. So I think on the grateful side, it's the relationships. It's really all the people that I've met from local to statewide to national. I've met a lot of really, really incredible people, and it's eye opening. I think when you start a small business, you're so insular and you're afraid of everybody and you think you're the only one making mistakes and you know what I mean? You're like, "Oh, I can't let anybody know that there's cracks." And I think it helped me grow a lot as a business person, as a leader, just being able to share some of those experiences and be around people that are so genuine and comfortable in their situations that they'll share their pitfalls with you. Same thing goes for our board. I think the thing that I'm probably the most proud of from our time is kind of twofold: where the San Diego chapter has gone in the national standings of chapters. I think we moved up like 50 spaces in the national ranking as far as chapters. And then I think the thing that I'm the most proud of is how much our board has developed and how much of a leadership pipeline we've all worked together. This isn't just me. This is a group, and we're a team. Our executive committee, our board has really worked to set this chapter up for year over year success with leadership, with succession planning. I think that's probably the most prideful thing that I have is what we've developed as a team.
Absolutely. I'll never forget, we were sitting in a meeting in San Antonio, and they award the Chapter of the Year award, and it's a giant, giant eagle, and Scott's very competitive
Still didn't get it.
hockey player. We're still trying for it, but he's like, "How do we get that?" I said, I don't know," and he's like, "You need to find out how we get that." And that day, I asked Mike Bellman. He said, you can only go up because it's number 63 out of 67."
I mean, we did
yeah.
have good concrete
Right,
foundation to
right,
move up from.
right.
We were
So
at the bottom.
under Scott's leadership and competition and saying we can do this, let's really put it as a focus. We've gone all the way up to number 14. So definitely have
Awesome.
climbed the
That
ranks.
took
there.
only 2 years.
Yeah,
So,
right.
yeah, it's impressive.
And it is
so.
an ABC family. I will say our association feels different to me than other associations, and like you talk about the relationships. And so that brings me to Steven. You're the incoming chair, and you started electronic and telecom systems. I feel like I remember when some of the times where you were getting started, the early years. Tell us about your story.
Yeah, so I started ETS, we'll go ETS for short. I started in 2016, but the story goes back even further. So my father started his own company, electronic control systems, in 1996, and so I saw him. I was very young at the time, so I saw him grow that and saw all the challenges. I saw his people, his team. It was just an incredible experience to be able to grow up with that environment. And then 2014, he sold the company. That's right when I graduated college. So then I went straight to work for him. 3, 4 months later, he sold it. But we all stayed on for a couple of years, so I got a lot of good experience working, for his organization. Then, once he retired, I decided, and that was in 2016. I decided to start my own company. That was, ETS.
You're like, I can do it better than my bosses, right? Oh, wait a minute. I can do it better than my dad.
No, I
Yeah.
wanted to do something different. I wanted to start something on my own. So, I had him as an example. He was, my mentor, still is. And now he's really not involved at all. But I had, a few years where I really had him, almost every day, calling him, asking him for advice and everything. And so yeah, started with no employees, no revenue that first year. About a year in, finally joined ABC. I had a few contracts, a handful of employees, and yeah, just been growing with the company since. Now we're well over 50. Actually, we're above 60 employees now. And that's a lot of them have gone through ABC programs or are still currently part of ABC. So it's just been an incredible journey.
Yes, and I remember meeting you. You were engaged to your now wife, and you were just getting married, and now you have baby number 2 on the way. So it's been great to see you and your own family personally grow as well as the ABC family. So you're taking over the helm now as chair. I'll never forget talking to my son about it, and he's like, "Mom, he's way younger than you." And I said, "I know, this is great, new ideas." So tell us about some of the initiatives that you are looking to implement, or some ideas that you have for 2026.
Well, like I share Scott's passion about apprenticeships. It is such a valuable thing to have in the industry. I mean, we're taking people who don't in some cases don't know what to do, and they're looking for work. And this provides not only are you going through a program where you don't have to pay for it. You're also working for pretty decent wages too, and you get raises every several hundred hours, and it's just such a cool thing to see people get into the trades and get paid for it, and be able to grow their careers from it.
Absolutely. And next year is our 50th anniversary. So a lot of big ideas around that, right?
Yep.
Everything from, hey, let's do a parade to let's do a gala, or let's just start doing some mixers at your local watering hole, right? We're all going to be here in East County. Let's get together for the 50th. Anything you want to share? You guys want to share about the 50th, or
I mean,
I was gonna say no parades.
yeah, no parades. I don't,
Hate parades.
it's not our strategic plan.
no. I mean, we have to develop a budget
Right.
first,
Right.
but
Is that right?
yeah. No, but we got to have a big party.
Let's talk budget. No, I'm just kidding.
No, we got to have a big party for that. I mean, 50 years is a big milestone.
Right.
The ABC National's only been around 75 years, so
Right.
we're at
A huge
half a
part of that.
century. Yeah, we're a big part of
Yeah.
that, being half a century old now in San Diego, where we've grown. Where were we 50 years ago? Our population probably half of what it is now.
Right.
So a big part of that, ABC San Diego and its members are a big part of that.
Absolutely. We are building San Diego, definitely.
I think it would be great to see a lot of good EIC projects for a 50th year, and really have that event grow from where it is right now. And I think that would be a great opportunity to celebrate.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what was that? Promoting excellence in construction projects to all our listeners out there. Start now. Think about what you want to submit.
I got to do a couple more things before I hand the reins over to Steven. You know what I mean? I gotta check a couple boxes.
Get in there. We got to promote excellence in
I'm trying not to
construction.
short time it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to be sick today.
Oh, we still got you for 2.5 months.
So for those of you listening, we're wrapping it up. I just want to do a big opportunity here to express my gratitude for Scott, for his leadership over the last 2 years. Actually, prior to that, he was on our board. I did grab him and say, please join our board. And then immediately thereafter said, please jump into leadership. We need it. And it's been pivotal, and we couldn't have done it without you, under your strong leadership and vision and humor and general, just great guy. My husband loves you. Thinks you're
my boy.
yeah.
It's my boy.
Pearl loves you. That's
Hugged me first at the airport last night before he hugged his wife.
And so
Tug on my heartstrings.
yes, very much appreciative of all of that. And Steven, I really look forward to working with you this year. I know you've got big ideas, and we're going to do a lot of things. And so that's a wrap for this episode of Coastlines to Cranes. If you like us, give us a like or subscribe. Make sure you make a comment. We want to hear from you. And to the rest of you, stay classy, San Diego.